North, for all of you to be in attendance. It's really a unique event. It's supposed to be a fun send-off for our 8th graders. The last hurrah for them and their last activity as an 8th grader. Unless you have some academic work or other responsibility to fulfill for the middle school to finish your 8th grade, you are done after that activity, and your next stop in a Mayville school will be as a freshman the following year at Mayville High School.
Very good. Thank you, Bob. High school. All right. This week starts a WI tournament series for sports. Our track teams are up at the regional in Ripon tonight. Last week our girls track team won, I lost count now how many conference titles we have won. But the girls won the conference title, the boys finished third. However, the boys had 3 events that did win conference titles. Our softball team remains unbeaten. They won their 2nd consecutive conference title. They'll be the #1 seed through sectionals, which will all be at home due to the #1 seed. So we'll have 3 games this week and then 2 in the next week. Hopefully they can get through the sectional, make it to state. The boys who finished 3rd in the conference also got a #3 seed. They'll be home this Thursday against Lamira. The girls soccer team is wrapping up their season this week and then headed to tournament play. And our trap shooting team participated in the state shoot over the weekend. We did not get results yet. Couple dates for you before I explain what's up on the screen. Is graduation practice will be Friday, May 31st, and then graduation will be Sunday, June 2nd. As always, the board will, you can meet in the office conference room. If you can be there by 12:30, 20 to 1, that's plenty of time. If any board member has a specific student they would like to give diplomas to, Dave, just let Carol Wellner know and we'll make sure we put you in line. And even if it's not a relative, if it's a family friend or neighbor that you'd like to give a diploma to, we always make those arrangements for you. Up on the screen, I've just got a couple shots, and we were so busy last week at our big event, we didn't have a lot of time for too many pictures, but we had a variety of ages of people come through and see our activities. So here's Matt Schultz helping one of our community members make slime. That was one of our slime stations, and Becky's slime is borax and glue. Okay. All right. So that was kind of fun. And then here was a picture. Actually, it wasn't part of the big event, but the Carpenters International group had contacted Ken Cartman, and we started our students, if they would so choose to use this at the end of an apprenticeship. We finished 16 hours of apprentice work in wall building on Friday and Monday today. So that's just a quick shot of our kids, and what they do is they bring in one of the carpenters from their trade union, and basically what they did over a 2-day period was everything that they need to know, and it's basically a skill checklist where they'll get a certificate for wall building from the header to the drywall to the whole deal. So that's what they work on Friday and Monday, and I just want to compliment Ken for bringing them in. Here we have dry ice, I'm sorry, not liquid nitrogen. Dry ice balls, and Dan, one of our students, each student as part of their advanced chemistry end of the year work had one basically experiment. We ran these every 15 minutes. And if you were lucky to be in the room when it was going on, you get to participate if you're a little learner. So there's a young man holding the frozen ice ball, and what'll happen is that then will pop. The last Thursday was also the art show, which is the next screen. I just took a shot for you. We put the art show, and I want to compliment Sarah. It really turned out nice in that front lobby, and we've found so many uses for the front lobby now, or the lower cardinal lobby as we call it. So she hung the art show. One interesting point about the art show is we brought in a variety of judges over the years to critique and give comments and feedback. And this year what we did, we had every single high school staff member was able to pick their piece of art, write a nice comment about it, and then also voted for the best of show. And actually the best of show is that scorpion you see right at the bottom of the stairs. Isaac Wolf finished that one, and it is a really nice piece. So that was our art show that took place last Thursday night. I forget what's next, Scott. Here's another thing, another item out of the science department. We looked at the fetal pigs. We also had a brain on the table, and the kids had a lot of fun with that. And then I think we got one more, and then we were entertained by our state soul ensemble groups, as well as this is our jazz band who kicked it off at 4 o'clock, and then about every half hour we had a musical group come in. So I sent out a thank you note to probably there was 25 to 30 people that were all involved in the success of this evening. If Nikki Williams is here, I'm going to compliment her as well. We fed a lot of people. We had about 250 people at the event, and they got to eat for hot dogs and lemonade and chips and kind of a picnic in the cafeteria thanks to Nikki and her crew.
Well, that was an amazing event. Lee.
It was.
It was an amazing event.
Very fun.
It was a lot of fun. And I think that's it for my, you will have seen on the agenda originally, we had forensics, and that was positive thinking, because in the past we've always brought in perfect scores from the state forensics meet, and as well as everyone did and medaled down there. We only had, we had no perfect scores, and 2 kids were 1 point away. So this year we had no perfect scores, but Linnell and her team did really well.
All right, thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, possible future action items. Any unfinished business? New business, we have resolution 1819223, approval of seasonal employees for 2019 summer cleaning and maintenance. So moved. Motion by Dave, seconded by Joe. Travis, you want to give us an update on this?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. So this year, smaller crew. We are 5 returning crew members and 5 new crew members. So it'd be nice to pair them up together and get some new experience from existing crew members. So we've got a lot to tackle this year with painting and cleaning up and that kind of thing, cleaning the schools. So most of the new ones are coming back from college or currently at Mayville. So I'm pretty excited about that.
So what's the, is the high school kind of later on, or?
Yeah, our primary focus will be Parkview and the middle school, and then kind of as we're finishing up at the high school, we'll kind of tackle projects there. So.
You're gonna miss the waxing.
Yeah, there's nothing to wax, right? Anything else for Travis? Any questions? Dave?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried 5-0-2. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, resolution 1819224, approval to hire Samantha Teeters as a part-time special ed administrative assistant. Motion?
So moved.
Dick, seconded by? Dave. Want to explain?
Sure. Is Kara out there?
I am.
Okay. See, Kara, do you want to speak to it, or want me to?
That's okay.
Okay. Right, so Kara's in her new role as our director, and her contract will be coming up here soon, so she's all ready to go in the month of July as our officially in that role. She has the title, so she's transitioning to that full-time position starting in July. So with that comes the switch where we have a retirement in our special education admin assistant position now. And that is currently 40 hours a week. It's being, or close to, no, it is, it's 40 hours a week. So it's shifting to 20 hours a week, and Kara's rolling into that full-time position. So we have in here that it is a rate of grade 7, going in alignment with our current handbook language, and fiscal year, meaning it's all year round at 20 hours a week. So with the wage of $17 an hour. So yeah, Sam's going to shift from her current position of working in the office to this piece. It requires a lot of skyward. Sam's really techy, so she's a great fit for that. On top of it, she still is going to help support us in the communication specialist role. So this is a great fit with that combination. more of a contracted service for communication with the part-time special education
So
admin assistant.
somebody got to take over the office. now.
Yes, correct. With the vacancy.
That's why I asked how many hours you needed.
Yeah, right. She will not be doing that.
Isn't that being cloned?
Yeah.
So this is a,
It's a replacement
I
of her
understand
current
the
position.
replacement, are we talking you said contracted position.
This is, okay, so she currently has a MOU for communication stuff, so she's an independent contractor for that.
Okay.
Then this is a letter of appointment, so no support staff members actually have contracts. They have a letter of assurance or letter of appointment.
Right.
So for hers, she'll work 20 hours a week at that wage. No benefits are associated with the position based upon the fact that it's 20 hours a week.
You sure we're okay with that?
Yeah.
Because, even though she's working so many hours, I thought there was something myself.
she's good to go.
We're good.
Yeah. And we keep track of that too. So Karen helps us when people qualify for WRS and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And once you're in WRS, you are always in too.
Okay.
So she probably continues in the Wisconsin retirement system.
Any other questions on this approved hire? Dick?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 502. Resolution 19225, approval to hire Maria Vasco, part-time school nurse for the upcoming school year.
So moved.
Motion by Joe,
Second.
seconded by David.
Karen can speak to this one.
Okay. You're up, Karen.
All right, so Maria is currently working at the Fond du Lac Hospital, and she's coming to us with wanting just to have different hours and be more available to her kids. So she applied. She will be working 20 hours a week across the district, so a little bit of time in every building. That's Maria. Yeah, she's she's beloved in the Mayville community. She's a good fit.
Any questions on this approval to hire? Joe?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 502. Thank you. Resolution 19226, approval to hire Kelsey Weaver for speech and language pathologist.
All right, so Kelsey, oh, sorry.
In motion?
So moved.
Joe,
Second.
second by Jim. Okay.
All right, Kelsey is a recent grad of UW-Eau Claire as of probably last week or this week, somewhere in there. She's coming to us with a strong background in assistive technology and augmentative and alternative communication, which is a need that our district really has. So she's able to fill that space and that need for our students with special education needs. So we're excited to have her. She'll be full-time, positioned grades 5 to 12 in our parochial schools as well. So she'll be servicing across buildings and many grade levels.
Any questions on this approval to hire? Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 502.
Karen gets a break.
Resolution 1919227, approved to hire Karen Spittle, 4K teaching position at Parkview Primary. Need a motion?
So moved.
Jim? Or sorry, Joe? Second by Jim. Okay, Becky.
Our journey this year was to kind of explore and see if we had the capacity to bring 4K back in, or into Parkview. We've never had 4K. We had some space available and we did some investigating. It was determined that we would be able to support both an AM and a PM class at Parkview Primary itself. So back in the early May, we did some interviews, and I am happy to recommend Karen Spittle in this position. Karen has been part of our 4K program, teaching out of St. Mary's for the 7 years that we've had 4K within our community. But she is now no stranger to our community. She's taught at St. Mary's for 13 years, I believe, when I was looking over the information she had shared with me. I am so excited to have Karen be able to join us at Parkview, and I can't speak enough about it. She's going to be a good fit for us.
Any questions on this? Approval to hire for Karen Spivak. Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 502. And Karen, what we do with all new hirees, we give you a chance to come up and,
All right, no pressure. Okay, my name is Karen Spittle, as she said. I have been in Mayville for 22 years or so. I'm from Wauwatosa. The thing that brought me to this town is the school district, because Wauwatosa has a very good school district, and when I was moving and relocating with my husband's job, that was my goal, is the school district and the community. So I have been with St. Mary's quite a while, teaching 4K with the community 4K. I have 4 children, who have gone through the Mayville School District. My daughter just got married 3 days ago. My son graduated from Platteville, and I have a daughter graduating from high school in a few weeks, and my 6th grader who feels left out, not doing anything really big, is going to the middle school. So she
She went to
little,
6th grade.
she went to camp, so that was good, yes. So she feels a little left out, but I'm very excited to be working at Parkview and joining the Parkview team. I have had the pleasure of working with the special ed department, the early childhood, speech and language pathologist with my students, and cooperating and co-teaching with them. So I think this is a really good fit, and I'm very excited to join Parkview.
You did a great job with Kenny too.
Thank you. I had your children, I know. I feel kind of old. My first class has already gotten their masters. One just got a master's last week, a Hartwick boy, and I'm thinking, my goodness, I feel
You're
old.
wiser.
That's right. Thank you.
so welcome.
Thank you very much.
Is there a contract you need to sign? Okay. Okay, moving on. Resolution 1819228, approval of summer school teaching contracts.
Someone.
Motion by Joel, seconded by
I'll second.
Dave.
That's a busy document,
Yeah.
I know. But it's color-coded based on the tier and what they are teaching and what they get paid for each one of those hours that they are teaching. The big thing is the total that they're getting paid is gonna be in that far right-hand column. But again, it's identified based on the amount of intensive work it takes in terms of preparing the class. So those teachers get a little bit higher pay rate than those who are more of just walk in and teach the class, and it's kind of based on what you need to prepare for those classes. So yes, it is a busy document.
Any questions on this resolution for the summer school contracts? Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 502. Resolution 1819229, approval of donation from Brad Washer to the 6th grade camp fund.
So moved.
Motion by Dick,
Second.
second by Jim. Jim, you know Brad for a long time. He's been doing this donation for a long time.
Yeah, Brad was in my daughter's, Brad and my daughter were classmates, and I think the two of them have been attending 6th grade camp ever since they were in 6th grade. And Laura and Brad probably missed it 1 or 2 years when they were in college and couldn't make it, but otherwise. And now both Brad and Laura have taught at camp, I don't know how many years now. Brad does forestry, my daughter does tie-dye t-shirts. Brad is a fire control specialist with the Bureau of Land Management and lives in Park City, Utah. So comes back to Wisconsin, his home, and every year for 6th grade camp.
Okay, he said 38 years. 38 years. That's dedication.
And he loves every minute.
Yeah, it's a unique experience for these kids. Just too bad we can't get a little better weather once in a while.
Yeah.
But
I guess just a little additional comment to add, like I said, Brad's a fire control specialist and has had very busy fire control seasons the last years, and he's involved in all those big fires out in the west. Quite a job he has.
well, we appreciate what he does and what Laura does for the 6th grade camp. All that's really educational for the students. That opens their mind up. Any questions on this donation? Dick?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried 5-0-2. Resolution 18230, approval of 2019-2020 hot lunch prices. Need a motion?
So move.
Motion by Dave, seconded by Joe. Okay, Nikki?
Okay, so what we have is lunch prices there for this year were $2.65, $2.80 at the middle school and $2.90 at the high school. Last year we were able to we weren't required to raise all lunch prices last year, so we did not. This year we didn't have that option, so we had to raise lunch prices to meet the standard for the or the guidelines for the state. So Parkview will be going to $2.70, middle school $2.90, and the high school $3. And where that comes from is, so the 2018-19 rounded requirement is $2.92. So then your average weighted price is $3. You plug this into the computer and it gives you all this information. So in October of 2018, those were the lunches we sold at Parkview Middle School and High School, what their prices were, which means our average weighted price was $2.81. The next slide will show that that's 19 cents under the $3 price that we need to meet.
Is that $3 a lock-in at that point in time? So how much longer will the price continue to be moving? Will next year be $3.10 and $3.20 and?
We hope for quite a while though.
Right, exactly. I'm just curious.
It really, so I think yeah, hopefully my goal is yes. What really is gonna make a difference is right now, they will hold lunch prices if you are not negative in January in your school lunch account. So if our balance is not negative, then we can hold lunches steady. This year, we will be hopefully positive at the end of the school year by a couple $1,000s. That will transfer over to next year, which if we just stay steady with that, then we should be positive by that amount that we transfer over. So in January, we should be able to hold prices next year and not have to increase. So then to figure out what your weighted average is for the following year, you have to plug in lunches according to that 2018 lunch, the number of lunches from last year, or in 18. So in order to get to that 291, those were the prices we had to go with. You can play with that a little bit, but I don't think taking the high school over $3 is a good idea. So keeping them there. And then because middle school has the most kids, I mean, the number of kids in the school makes a big difference too. So that's where we had to go to keep them pretty steady there. Which brings us to that.
Month of October.
Everything DPI does is the month of October. So any funding we get through the government is the month of October. Everything is the month of October. So that's just their guideline, which seems to be pretty accurate when you look at what they have there. I have looked at lunch pricing from other schools. We're pretty steady with the rest of the schools. Sometimes we're a little above, sometimes we're below, but I would say we're probably just about in the middle of where everybody else is. A couple school districts didn't have to raise their lunch prices for a while now, so they're in a little bit better position. But I think that's where those lower prices come from. I've seen high schools at 325.